Ryan, how you going, buddy?
Hey, it's going well. How are you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Thanks for joining us on the faction. How's your day going over there, man? All right?
Doing pretty good. Just running some errands. That's pretty much all you can do right now.
Oh,
Just
true.
threw some stuff in the dump and went grocery shopping.
Are you doing all right though? You staying safe over there?
Yeah, hanging in there. Nobody in my family's gotten sick yet, so fingers crossed that keeps up.
Definitely hope not, man. Stay safe, of course. But the new Fit for a King album, The Path, is out on September 18, and it's crushing, dude. You know, your last album, Dark Sky, seemed like a very personal record lyrically. This one seems like it's a bit of a mix with, you know, the subjects. Like the song Face of Hate, first one, feels like it's very relevant to what's going on right now. That's for sure, man.
Exactly. I'm glad you picked up on the different subject matters. This album overall is a lot less depressing than the last two records, which obviously there's going to be a couple of more serious songs sprinkled in on this record, but overall the theme is just victory, like pushing forward and finding that path in life to success and happiness. And like I said, songs like The Face of Hate you pointed out as, you know, just becoming a movement, even if you face hate, like pushing forward. Even like there's people that are going to hate you. There's people that hate you if you say wear a mask right now, which is kind of crazy. But
It's insane.
just pushing forward, even if what you're pushing isn't popular or faces a lot of backlash, if you know what you're doing is right, first thing that kind of comes to mind is the Black Lives Matter movement is persisting even through all the hate and the, you know, people criticizing it and tearing it down. I think they're on day 52 of protesting right now in Portland and Seattle, so they just keep persevering.
How long ago did you write that song? Was it when things were starting to get pretty heavy?
The song was written back in January. Most of the record was written January, February, lyrically. So right before, I think we were in the studio, at the end of the studios when you started hearing about coronavirus and China happening, but it wasn't anything that I think anyone was taking serious yet. Because you kind of hear about those things and you're just like, man, that sounds awful. I'm glad it's not here. And crazy how much things change in 5 months.
Oh man, it's insane. But you know, the thing I like that you guys do, and you do very well, is you seem to start off your albums with like a good heavy kick in the guts, and then you midway you seem to bring in the more melodic stuff, and then kick it back up again. Is that something that you guys plan out when you're writing these albums? Because I like that formula.
It actually is. We're a fan of it too because we really write to make the album a pleasurable experience. While, you know, a lot of bands now, there's so much single focus because that's just the popular thing to do is put out a lot of singles, which we do. But we also don't want to betray the fans that enjoy the album as like a piece of art, like a story, which I don't know if that's you. When I was growing up listening to Under, I always appreciated how the album flowed. It just felt like, man, they really thought this out. It was more than just a single. Like they cared
That's
about
right.
every song on this record.
Absolutely.
And we like that formula because we want people to listen to the entire thing front to back. That's how it's always designed to be from our perspective because we all grew up big fans of that Under Oath formula. And we like having the more melodic stuff in the middle because it almost gives you like a break, but not too much of a break, but it gives you a little like different vibe so you can like rest from how heavy the first few songs were.
It's definitely got its big arena metal moments on this one as well. Like The Path, you know, the title track, and Annihilation. Like they seem like they're definitely written for big, massive rooms, and I think they're going to be so tasty live, dude. Are you going to be ripping those ones out?
Oh yeah, and I'm also glad you noticed that. That was actually a conversation we had when doing this record. We talked amongst ourselves and Drew, our producer, and we were like, what's our goal with this band? Like, how big do we want to be? Do we want to be a band that plays to 1,000 people or 800 people, or do we want to be one like Parkway Drive, one that's playing arenas around the world? Like, do we want to be a dynasty band or just a really big metalcore band? And all of us were like, we want to be that band like As I Lay Dying that's going up there with pyro and playing in front of 4,000 people in Germany.
Yeah, man.
And so it's like we had to talk. We're like, we need to write music. Like, we need to write songs that are just so big sounding that it doesn't make sense for them to be on a smaller stage. And that's where you get songs like Annihilation and The Path, where we tried to write songs that were bigger than the stages we were playing.
I like the big doomy church bell in it too. You've added in there.
Oh yeah, Drew, through it in one song, and we were all like, we love that. Put that all over the record.
That's so good. Will you have that sampled live, or are you going to bring a big church bell with you out on the road, like a big truck, and just that's it? You'll just have that in, and it'll be just your gear shipped around. Is that the plan?
I think we'll start off on the tracks, and then we'll let our band get to the size we want. Then we'll just roll it out for those few songs, and then fire shoot off right when the bell hits.
If AC/DC can do it, you guys can do it. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's a fair comparison. Yeah.
See? There you go. That's the plan. And there's also a really good industrial element in the track God of Fire, which I love because I'm all about that stuff. Is that something that you want to experiment more with? Push those sounds a little bit further?
I think God of Fire was like a pretty big experiment for us to see how our fans felt about it. It seems, it's always hard to find the best way to judge how your overall fan base feels about it, but the YouTube seemed to not be too mad about it. Like, it's a good ratio. And there's the fans that are like, oh, I don't like this electronic Bring Me the Horizon stuff. And I'm like, well, what do you want to do? Just write the same heavy song for 6 straight albums? Like, we want to, push the envelope a little or try new things. And I'm not opposed at all to doing more of the songs. I think that song is an absolute blast to do live. And I would love to do more of that stuff. Maybe not be that as our primary sound, but I would love to throw in a song like that for future records.
So aggressive. So angry. I love it. Good to drive to, actually, that one. Turned it up real loud.
Hey, hopefully not too much road rage.
No, I'm a responsible metal driver. Hey, but
it's one of those songs where if you do it, you look down, and you're like, oh, I'm like way over the speed limit. Right?
I've done that a few times. Done that, yeah. Well, I admit.
Yeah.
But you've actually recently you did a crossover with We Came as Romans on a couple of tracks, which also included merch, which was awesome too. That is such a rad idea. How was it, and how did that come about?
So David Puckett, who drums for We Came as Romans, he does all of our digital marketing. And he approached us and he's like, hey, we have this new idea, he came up with the idea. He's a marketing genius, which is why we pay him to do ours. And he was like, we were thinking of since bands can't tour right now, doing collab merch, and we would love for your band to be the first one to collab with, because us and We Car are friends, but we've never toured with each other. So we're like, it could be really cool for all the fans that we share. Since we've never toured together, it's like an opportunity to do some stuff together. And at first it was strictly for the merch. And then I think the managers of both of our bands were like, why don't we up it a little bit, and you guys can stream on each other's track, and then we can just upload it. And me and Dave were all about it. So it's kind of funny because people are like, man, why didn't they collab and write a song together? I'm like, us just doing the vocals on each other's track was 3 days before it happened kind of decision. It's not to mention collabing over distances is not the easiest with everything happening.
I could imagine that would be quite difficult, but I think it's awesome, man. I think it's really good. And of course, you've toured with some of our own bands, over the years, and including Alpha Wolf. Did that tour happen with Alpha Wolf? That happened, didn't it?
Unfortunately, we only got to play, I think we played 5 or 6 shows into the tour.
Oh, man.
And it's a huge shame because Alpha Wolf was just crushing. They were selling so much merch. The crowds were loving them, which is why we wanted them on the tour. We knew the first time they came over to the States, it was going to pop off for them. And it was honestly above their expectation how well they were doing. And then, everything shut down. And I just felt so bad for them because it's not cheap. I know how expensive it is for us to go to Australia. And it's probably even worse the other way around because of visa stuff. And I was just like, man, I feel bad for them and Crystal Lake.
Do you know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see you guys come down there and tour with them. That'd be pretty damn cool.
Hey, maybe that was in the works and then everything happened.
Really? Come on, spill some beans.
I can't confirm or deny that, but all I know is nothing's happening now, but something was being worked on.
Is it something that's, definitely going to happen at one stage? I know it's hard to tell now, but is it, just on the back burner?
I think it's definitely not on the back burner because we're good friends with those guys after doing Europe and then part of the U.S. with them. It just feels like there's unfinished business for them in the U.S., and we would love to bring them back out as soon as they're capable. And then I know they also want us, they've been very vocal about wanting us to come over to Australia with them because we haven't been to Australia since 2014. I even told our booking agent, and they all agreed, our manager, our agent, the band, the second we can go tour Australia, we are going, even if we just need to go headline, because we kind of want to see where we're at over there. It's always so hard to gauge a band's size in a different part of the world when you haven't been there in so long. And I'm just like, I just want to go back to Australia. Let's just book some shows and see what happens, because I miss being in Australia.
I think you'd be surprised, man. You guys have got a really strong following down here. Right? People love you guys.
We've had some people at Unified. They were the ones that were like, "Hey, just come headline. Like, don't worry about needing to like support. If you can't find the right tour, just headline. It'll be a lot better than you think it would be."
Man. Well, dude, I hope it happens, and I definitely appreciate you taking the time to hang out. The new Fit for a King album, The Path, is out on September 18 everywhere. Until then, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you down here soon, brother.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.